Hi, is that the local dog dealer? Yeah, hi, it's me again. I was wondering whether I could have some free wheat, considering I'm Dutch after all, and... Ladies.
Yeah, yeah! Okay!
What are you guys doing here?
Mr. Museum Owner, we have great news.
I just wasn't expecting you back so early.
Oh. Look, being on time doesn't matter. It's not that we're in college or something.
We've already completed the history display as you asked.
You completed the entire of next year's project, just 2 hours after I said you.
You don't have to tell us how great we are.
Mr. Museum Owner, I want you to imagine that you're opening the doors of the museum for the very first time. What do you see?
The dirty white tiles, the out-of-action toilets, that tram that doesn't seem to ever want to leave.
Wow, it's almost as if you work here.
I do work here.
Imagine this instead.
Whoa, what's that got to do with Tudor history?
Mr. Museum Owner, you said we want cutting edge. We want raw content. We want interpretive dance.
When I was thinking interpretive dance, I was thinking Swan Lake, more than Magic Mike XL.
There is nothing wrong with admiring the male body.
Guys, I'm not going to let my guests be greeted by male strippers.
What about the only male strippers?
They're like male strippers, only Tudor.
Guys, please, I don't mean to be rude, but if you haven't got anything relevant for me, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I've got a very tight schedule to keep.
Luckily for you, we produced a lot more content, including a movie.
Well, that's all I was expecting.
Hi, I'm Me, and welcome to History with me. I'm Me. Today on the show, we're studying Queen Mary I of the Tudors. An often misrepresented fact of Queen Mary was that she just killed people, but of course that's completely false.
Wait, I said there's more to history than data stereotypes?
Yes, Harry, I am. Mary was a fascinating woman, born in 1516 to Henry VIII and the Spanish Catherine of Aragon. Her birth disappointed and infuriated the king, who was desperate for a male heir.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Henry became a Protestant in order to divorce Catherine and then marry the younger Anne Boleyn. The religious swap changed England forever, opening up hundreds of years of conflicts regarding Catholicism versus Protestantism. Mary continued to practice Catholicism in a country which had soon become hostile, making her an outsider to much of her father's court, but a hero and a saviour to all the crypto-Catholics.
Hey, that's my line!
Mary grew increasingly bitter and resentful as her sickly younger brother Edward took the throne in 1547, as he spread and endorsed Protestantism even further, marking the start of the first Reformation in England.
Lady Jane Grey was the first threat Mary faced. She knew that if she didn't overthrow Grey quickly, whilst the crown was weak, she would never be able to. So Mary took the throne from her by force, by executing Grey for all to see. Grey did not have a strong enough force backing her, whereas Mary had the ace in her hand of being eldest daughter of the former King Henry. There had been strong female leaders before, such as Empress Matilda in the 12th century. But Mary has the legacy of being the first Queen of England, which is often forgotten. So, if she's so great, why isn't she remembered as well as Lizzie?
That's a good question, George. The others exchange looks. Mary had a very abrasive personality, and she often clashed with other members of her court and country. People didn't warm to the angry Catholic Queen, especially since everyone had been used to being Protestant for ages.
You could even say they've been protty trained.
When Mary and Catholicism took over, England was not happy. Catholicism seemed old and unnatural. People didn't like the idea of a foreign pope running their country. And to make it worse, Mary decided to marry the Spanish prince Philip II. They were the second. They were married just 2 days after their first meeting. Mary was 37 and Philip was 27.
The marriage really annoyed the
English population, not only because Philip was Catholic, but because he was Spanish, and people didn't want a Spaniard running the country. And how dangerous would it be to have a country which hated your marriage?
Well, it could get pretty crazy. Hell, people might even stage a rebellion.
What? A Wyatt rebellion?
The Wyatt Rebellion. The Wyatt Rebellion was initially intended to be a four-pronged attack, centering in Devon, Wales, Leicestershire, and Kent. The rebellion failed in Devon and Wales and also Leicestershire, but was much more successful in Kent, with Mary's forces being unable to even reach Leicestershire. To conclude, Thomas Wyatt marched on London anyway. Mary hid in the castle. The rebels got hungry, left and went home. And that's it. Everyone out. Everyone, just go.
All right. Bye, Mr. Bird.
Mary's reign was the first one in English history to fully feature religious warfare. Think of it as a Catholics versus Protestants, round one. And it was because of all the religious tension in England that Mary's most infamous moments came about, as in the casual burning at the stake of over 300 Protestants. The bloodiness of her reign is really all that is remembered of it, partly because of how insane it was. Her attempted extermination of the opposite faith would have. Next up, the Siege of Calais. It was 1557, and Philip had actually bothered to visit his wife. Unfortunately for Mary, he didn't really want a proper chat, instead just asking Mary to declare war on France, as Spain needed the backup. Mary wanted the war, but her councillors did not. It was only when Thomas Strafford, that lad from the Wyatt Rebellion, tried to overthrow Mary with help from French troops, that the councillors agreed to join the Italian War. Stafford was executed and his family disgraced. The war with France proved to be disastrous as well. England lost control of Calais, the last port of France that England controlled. Mary later wouldn't tell her closest advisors, "When I am dead and opened, you shall find Calais lying in my heart."
How interesting.
Guys, this is way too much history for a history-based project. I don't want to have all this history. I'm sick of history.
Enough.
Who the spliff are you?
Your worst nightmare.
This is Sparta!
The deed is done.
I'm not done yet!
I said it's Sparta!
Oh! 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 Can't have kids anymore! Oh! 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 Alive!
What don't you get about it, Sparta?
Oh! Okay, now I'm dead.
Now it's done.
It wasn't really a physical threat to Mary's reign. The war was completely based in Europe and wasn't primarily between France and England. It was France versus Italy and Spain. In terms of popularity, however, it caused massive damage to Mary. She was unpopular before, she was absolutely despised now. After Philip's visit in 1557, Mary was proclaiming she was pregnant, something she had been desperate for. Her one wish was to secure a Catholic legacy, to keep her sister Elizabeth out of succession and to please her husband Philip. Her subjects were none too pleased with the idea of a Catholic lineage. Luckily, / tragically, there was no such pregnancy. Mary was having a found pregnancy, and modern research now suggests that a baby was probably just the tumour that would later kill her.
Tumour
By
baby.
1558, Mary had accepted, yes, that's true, and accepted that Elizabeth would be her successor, despite her other wishes. Mary died on the 17th of November, 1558.
Ching.